Welcome back to the news at 10. Let's have that conversation now with the former Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Tunde Lemo. Thanks a lot for joining us. Apologies for earlier on. Thanks for joining us on the news at 10. All right, so apparently he can't hear us again. Sometimes it's like that. We'll see what we can do about that. Now, the federal government is supporting efforts of Lagos State in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic through relief materials delivered by the Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. Mrs. Sadia Farouk, who visited the state governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, explained that President Muhammadu Buhari directed her to deliver some relief materials to Lagos, Ogun and the FCT. 6,000 bags of 50-kilogram rice and 2 truckloads of vegetable oil are to be distributed to residents during this period of the federal government's lockdown order.
We are also here to follow up on the directives by Mr. President that we should give out some palliatives to the affected states of Lagos, Ogun, and the FCT that have been locked down by the federal government. We are bringing food relief in terms of rice and condiment. We also flagged off the trader money and market money intervention of the federal government. It's a program that has been in existence for quite some time, but Mr. President directed that we expand the intervention.
We want to thank Mr. President very well for continuing to be the father of the nation and continue to lead the nation at this time. And this will go into our strategic COVID-19 emergency food response, which you all know the state government had started over a week ago, which has entered our second phase. And I'm sure what the federal government is also giving us now, once we look at the arrangement, it will also further go to a third phase. So what it means is really for you to help us tell Lagosians that there's more than enough that we believe will continue to push down to our citizens.
And staying with palliatives, the Ebonyi State government says it's released the sum of 1 billion naira for the procurement of 400,000 bags of rice and other foodstuff for the people of the state. The State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Oji Uchenna Odri, says the move is to cushion the effect of economic hardship caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The lockdown in the state has also been relaxed for the Easter celebrations.
We commenced immediate production of face masks, and for a start, we're going to produce 400,000 number of face masks that will also be distributed alongside the rice, and also other foodstuff that will be procured and given to the vulnerable persons. And the governor also, considering the economic situation, that is brought about by this pandemic, also directed immediate disbursement of the sum of 2 billion naira SME facility that was secured before now. Be disbursed to benefiting youths and women to enable them go into entrepreneurship, into vocational programs, and other agri-related programs. The idea is that immediately after this situation of COVID-19 pandemic, we should be able to aggressively go into economic activities that will really help us to bounce back strongly as a people.
Let's take a look at some business news now. Here's Kayode Okikiolu.
Banking so easy, so simple. Dial *894# now to experience it. You first, First Bank.
Thank you, Ijema. You're welcome to Business News. Now, Fitch Ratings has downgraded Lagos State's credit ratings to B from B+ with negative outlook. And this comes after the Global Ratings Agency on Monday this week downgraded Nigeria's credit rating to B, which represents a degrading financial situation. According to Fitch, the latest ratings downgrade reflects the state's weak risk profile by international standards against expectations of sustainable debt driven by internally generated revenue, which underpins the state's capacity to serve its financial obligations. The next scheduled review date for Lagos is September the 18th, 2020. Well, Lagos is Nigeria's economic powerhouse with per capita GDP above $4 or double the national average, but still considered weak by international standards. And the Accountant General of the Federation, Mr. Idris Ahmed, has assured Nigerians that the government-integrated financial management information system, as well as other government portals for accounting, is up and running. Mr. Idris refuted claims in some quarters that some vital documents belonging to the federal government were affected in the inferno at the Treasury House on Wednesday morning. Nigeria's former Minister of Finance and former Vice President of the World Bank, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has been appointed as a member of an external advisory group of the International Monetary Fund, IMF. The group, which was inaugurated today by the Managing Director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, consists of high-level technocrats and policy experts from around the world who will serve as the IMF chief's special advisors. The new external advisory group is expected to provide insight to enhance the fund's ability to serve its membership, as well as provide perspectives from around the world on key development and policy issues. And a survey by National Association of Automobile Manufacturers of South Africa indicates that the country's auto industry might have to lay off up to 10% of its workforce due to a 3-week lockdown which was imposed by the government. The survey compiled by NAMSA Chief Executive Mike Mabasa covers South Africa's entire automotive industry, which it says employs 468,000 people. The survey estimates the 21-day national lockdown could lead to job losses of between 1% and 10%, with a possible increase of between 21% and 30%. That's if it's extended till the end of May. I'll tell you about stock markets across Africa, Europe, and the United States, which have closed for the Easter break, but markets in some parts of Asia were in session earlier today. Well, let's find out how they ended the day. Thank you for watching Business News Tonight. I am Kayode Okikiolu. The news at 10 continues with Ijoma.
Banking, so easy, so simple. Dial *894# now to experience it. You first, First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Coyote. The Anglican Diocese of Lagos has made donations of relief materials to the Lagos state government as part of efforts to ease the pain brought by COVID-19. According to the representative of the Anglican Diocese, Bishop of Lagos, the state government alone cannot handle it all, so all must join hands to defeat this common enemy.
The Easter Triduum has begun, and this year, due to the novel coronavirus pandemic, the church is approaching the event differently. A closer look inside the Diocese of Lagos headquarters at Marina shows the church is undeterred by the global situation as it is lending its own support to help cushion the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
The Ecclesiastical Province of Lagos has donated 5 million naira to the designated account provided by the government. Lagos Diocese is donating various food items, beverages, and sanitizers to not less than 1,000 families across the state. The diocese is supplying truckloads of water to the Ikoyi Correctional Center and Kirikiri Female Correctional Center. The diocese is also donating several medical equipment to the Lagos state government.
Since this lockdown policy has been enforced, We have issues with many of them feeding. So the church deemed it fit that at this time we should step in and provide something for them. The just shall live by faith. We are doing this in faith, and we believe that this will get to the vulnerable, the poorest of the poor in the society. So we hope that the government will do the needful.
The relief materials are handed over to the Director of Welfare, who will ensure the distribution through the Lagos State government and the Archdeaconries.
We have over 100 churches scattered all over the diocese, and what we have done is to collect names from all the churches through the Archdeaconry headquarters. And we have about 400 and something names, and we have another set of beneficiaries, communities, institutions that we are reaching out to, because our target is to reach about 1,000 people. And you know, charity begins at home. So we want to also reach out to our parishioners that are in need.
While many churches globally have put a hold on their services as part of measures to curb the spread of the coronavirus, the Anglican Diocese of Lagos is not just supporting with prayers, but also physically to ensure the well-being of the weak and vulnerable in the state in the spirit of Easter.
International Breweries PLC, makers of Trophy Lager beer, is teaming up with music sensation Innocent Idibia, also known as Two-Face, in what's been described as the first of its kind e-concert. Built to take place on April the 12th, the extra special online concert is to rally and unify Nigerians against the spread of COVID-19 in Nigeria. It also aims to encourage people to stay safe during this period by supporting the stay-at-home directive by the government. The e-concert will be streamed live on Two-Face's social media handle at Official Tubaba and Trophy Extra Special Stout at Trophy Stout. 10 million naira is expected to be donated in support of existing initiatives to combat COVID-19. Trophy's marketing manager, Bamishe Oyegbami, says this concert is important and it encouraged their decision to support it.
Yeah, my people. I hear you on a day, man. I know say no easy this period, but check this out, man. Tubaba e-concert with Trophy Stout. So join me on the 12th of April. Let's support the fight against coronavirus. Let's, join our solidarity together. You understand? So stream live as you stay at home, and enjoy a wonderful evening with me and Trophy Stout. Follow Trophy Stout IG page for more information. So one love, man. So let's wait till you go. We are stay house, stream live. Let's go there. Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to try one more time to have that conversation with the former Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Tunde Lemo. Thanks a lot, Dr. Lemo, for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you very much.
Okay, great, you can hear me. So what I'm asking is about the damage you think that this pandemic has done to the economy so far.
Well, it's very, very clear now to us that the pandemic has caused a lot of damage, not just to the Nigerian economy, but the global economy. We had IMF recently when they said that the recession that we're going to have will be the worst recession we've ever had since the depression of the 1930s. And of course, World Bank recently also said that Africa, for the first time in 25 years, will enter recession because of the global pandemic. So it's a very, very serious matter that policymakers should look into very seriously.
When you look at some of the financial palliatives that have been announced in the last week or in the last couple of days as well, do you consider that response sufficient, going by what you hear, the forecast you've given and the forecast that we're hearing now?
Well, the palliatives are steps in the right direction, but honestly, they are not sufficient at all. Today, we'll hear what happens in other climes. The U.S. economy, the Congress recently approved 2 trillion palliative or 2 trillion intervention. Besides that, the Fed, that is the Federal Reserve Bank, is also spending a little over that. And this is an economy that is even stronger than the Nigerian economy. The palliatives are good, but they are not far-reaching enough, Ijoma, because if you look at what has happened, it's a new normal. life may not return to normal in the next 3 to 5 years. So we need to buckle up and do a lot more.
Just quickly now, there have been a lot of donations that have come in, or at least we've heard announcements of such things. And there's been a call to say there should be a separate body that should process that, and that should give the task force enough time to face other things. Are you happy with the way, with the logistics of it, or do you agree that this should be organized a bit differently?
I believe the body that the government already establishes should be able to superintend over the distribution. This is a committee of very eminent people headed by the SGF and ministers. These are responsible people. I don't understand why we have to set up yet another committee. Then there will be too much bureaucracy. And this will delay the deployment of this to very vulnerable people that need it very urgently at such a time as this. Don't forget, we've been on lockdown now for 2 weeks, and then an average Nigerian does not have enough money to stock up food for more than 2-3 days. And this is likely to continue. And of course, we need to cut bureaucratic red tapeism and deploy this very rapidly to the needed group.
All right, former Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Tunde Lemo, thanks a lot for joining us on the News at 10 tonight.